Evening team, how are we doing? Coming to you on Tuesday night around sugar. And are you addicted to sugar? So how do you know if you're addicted? What to do if you think you're addicted? And just a bit of summary around sugar. Yes, I've got my giant hoodie on again. I've got the light on. Like if I turn this is ridiculous. Like I'm gonna rant about the weather again, right? It's 10 to 8 on a summer evening in Scotland. And it's so dark and cold, and I've had the freaking heating on too. Not fun, which is why now is a bit of a danger time, right? Because when we're not getting the warm weather, we're not getting the long summer evenings, it kind of feels like we're almost in a bit of a winter comfort season, which is when you can hit up the sugar, the comfort food, just to give yourself that little boost. Because let's face it, the weather isn't doing it for us right now. So yeah, I wanted to come on and talk about sugar, and if you're addicted to it, there's lots of things around sweeteners. You know, I'm not a fan of sweeteners for various reasons, but I'll cover a little bit on that too. All right, team, let's get into the sauce because my time as well as yours is precious. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Julie, Coach Julie, owner of Revive Fitness and Nutrition, covering all things nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and coming at you with the facts around food. I don't believe in fad diets. I don't believe in weight loss injections or crazy cleanses. It's all about whole foods, tuning into your body, female health, working with your body rather than against it. Working with what's going on with that bit here. Anyway, I've always got hair issues, right? Let's go. So sugar is, well, it's been demonized, right? So it's been demonized, but really the problem with sugar is it's everywhere, like absolutely everywhere. And the other problem is things like, you know, I've spoken before, smoothies, where they condense down all the fruit and take out the fiber. So there's way more sugar in that innocent smoothie than if you were to eat the whole fruits, because you wouldn't be able to eat all those whole fruits because you'd be so full. Whereas by condensing it into liquid, you're drinking it, which makes it easier to get the calories in, so you end up having more sugar. And there's lots of different sources of sugar now. You've got maple syrup, you've got honey, they're kind of natural sugars, but they are indeed still things that are high in sugar. So you still need to be measuring those portions. And then also you've got things with those added sugars, but now they don't necessarily added sugars. But you have to look at the back, and there's different terminology used around the sugar. It could be fructose, for example. Rather than it just saying sugar, it could be fructose. And now you've got all the they don't call them artificial, all the replacement sugars, so aspartame, things that are known to cause issues around migraines, gut health. I think the xylitol, if I say it right, all these kind of new age sweeteners, kind of a number of issues with them. Number of issues around gut health issues, around, as I just said, migraines with the relation with, I can't even remember what I just said. Perimenopause, great. Around spartamine, that's it, spartamine with migraines, and the other ones are more around gut health issues. So all your replacement sweeteners kind of have other issues within the body, and some of them are on the FODMAP. And you might not know the FODMAP. FODMAP is basically where you get your allergies around food. Things that work for you might not work for you. Like for some people, it's nightshade vegetables. So things like red pepper, aubergine, causes some bloating and upset in the stomach. And some of these sweeteners are on the FODMAP as well. So they can mainly cause gut issues. There's one around the migraines, but in main, the artificial ones are around gut health issues. So, okay, Julie, you're saying don't really go for the artificial sweeteners. So what we're meant to do? Yeah, because it's hard, right? If you look at most of the food out there, especially high processed stuff, it's got these sweeteners in them. If you want a soft drink now, you are struggling to find ones without artificial sweeteners in them. So you need to really be reading the ingredients on the back if you're like me, you don't want to have the artificial sweeteners. But let's take it back to the sugar. So I said the problem with sugar is it's everywhere. Everything's become sweeter and sweeter. And this has been something that's come from way back when. So as baby food's been introduced, baby food's got sweeter and sweeter. And they've done this through apple juice. Apple juice gets used in everything. So a lot of smoothies, a lot of baby foods, different foods you'll have in the supermarket will have apple juice in it as a sweetener. And actually, I picked up a bag of nuts. I'm going to do a little clip on this recently. And the bag of nuts had on it raspberries sweetened with apple juice, and then the apple pieces sweetened with raspberry juice. I'm like, what, why? So sugar is just everywhere, and we've grown up on it. I remember when I was growing up, fizzy juice wasn't such a thing, and then it came in, and obviously, naturally, as your kids, you want to have sweets, but the sugar in our crisps now, there's so many savory products out there, pickles, that you think, well, pickles aren't going to have sugar, surely. It's like a savory thing. But pickles, vinegars, crisps, there's so many snacks now that kind of ultimately deem them sweet. There was, I think in America, a lawsuit with Subway about their bread. Could they actually call it bread? Because there's so much sugar in that Subway bread that actually it should be classified as a cake. And that's what the lawsuit was about, where they could classify it as bread with all the sugar in it. So it is everywhere. So what can you do about it? Well, as I said, you can read the back of the ingredients. Anything that's got more than 5 ingredients is highly processed. Now, if you're like, Julie, I don't have time for that. I just want to get on, do my food shopping. Then honestly, the best way is to stop whole foods. Yes, fruit has sugar in it, but fruit does not make you fat. So having whole foods in the supermarket, none of the processed stuff. So just go for your proteins, your fruit, your veg. Okay, so the rest of the supermarket is going to become really boring to you because you do not need that stuff. You just need your whole foods, your protein, your fruit, and your veg. And that way you'll have natural occurring sugars and you'll not have all the highly processed stuff that's got the sweeteners in it or the more loaded with the fructose syrups. And fructose syrups are something that's coming in from America ultimately. And when you go out and eat as well, you might notice that your restaurant dishes are getting sweeter too. So lots of sugar is getting added because you know why? Because if you enjoy it and you go, oh, I love that thing, you'll go back for it, right? And here comes the key of telling whether you're addicted to sugar or not. If you have something sweet and you want more of that, so it doesn't quite, like, oh, fancy something sweet, I'll have a bit of fruit, doesn't really do it for me. Or if you have the donut, because that's what you fancy, but you have the one donut, but you still fancy a bit more sugar. So if you feel like you crave more sugar after you've had something sugary, then that is a sign that you're addicted to sugar because you're wanting more and more of that thing. It's the same way where people have Diet Coke, something sweet, okay, artificial, but still something sweet, and then they go on and have chocolate. So it's that whole thing about the craving of the sugary products is a sign that you're addicted. So what can you do about it if you do answer yes to that question? It is literally weaning yourself off. I would say don't go cold turkey because you will have side effects in your body in terms of you might get headaches, you might have really low mood, your energy might drop, and obviously you have a life and things you need to do. So instead, what to do is gradually switch out a sugary product with a piece of fruit. So you're still going to get the sweetness, natural. And what it'll do as well, it will open up your taste buds because your taste buds, as I mentioned, from birth onwards, as we've grown up through the ages, has been tailored to like sweeter and sweeter stuff. So this is also about opening up your taste buds to natural sugars opposed to all the loaded sugars that we've had in our lives. So look at swapping out one thing a day. Notice where your habits are creeping in. Ultimately, if you are having a protein breakfast, yes, I'm going to go there again, protein for lunch and dinner, that will fill you up. So it will help with the cravings. So look at getting protein across all 3 meals. And then when you do fancy something sweet, just have fruit in the house or dark chocolate. Okay, so fruit and dark chocolate are your friends, 70 plus on the dark chocolate, and that will help wean you off your sugar addiction. And it will also help wean your taste buds off the really sweet stuff. And then when you go back, say try it for a couple of weeks and you go back to having the donut or something else, you'll be like, oh my god, that's so sweet. Or you'll feel like, I feel rubbish after eating that thing. Okay, so I want to recap. If you are looking to curtail sugar addiction, if you've answered yes to Julie, yeah, I'll have a donut and then I fancy some chocolate and then I fancy something else, then chances are that you are addicted to sugar. And the way to come off that is by having whole fruits only in your house and some dark chocolate. If that's a bit too extreme for you, if you feel like you're craving that donut or that thing, then just buy a single donut. Do not buy the 4-pack of these things. Do not buy the big share bags of sweets. Go for a single serve. Yes, it costs you more, but the cost to your health is far greater if you don't address this, especially if you're going into the menopause where it becomes harder to lose weight, where we get the belly fat around the middle, which is all contributed by excess sugar. So like I say, it is buying your whole foods, your fruit, your veg, your protein, and then it's looking at, actually, if I'm really craving those things, then have the dark chocolate in place as your go-to to help wean you off the super sweet stuff. And if you're absolutely craving something to the point that you cannot not think about that food, whether it's donut, pastry, whatever it is, then go and buy one, have that single one, eat it slowly, eat it mindfully, and tune into how you feel afterwards. Now, when stress hits, then that may be your go-to thing, so it will be a challenge, but stick with it and you can wean yourself off it. And you may be thinking, but Julie, there's no joy in life if I don't have a dessert. Like, say if you're out at a restaurant, have a dessert, have it. Like, it's not going to do any badness to you having it once off. But the problem is we're not just having a dessert out at the restaurant, but then having cakes at home, ice cream, chocolate, whatever puddings it is you're buying, we're having those at home too. So it's now no longer the occasional treat. It's become more and more day to day. So look at your habits, your behaviors, and that's my tips for weaning off. Stick to the whole food, fruit, veg, protein, dark chocolate, 70% above. And if you're really craving something, then have it, but you've got to gradually wean yourself off this stuff. And know that it can be beaten if you're addicted to sugar, and try and stay away from the highly processed foods. So anything that's got 5 ingredients or more in it, and if it says the word fructose, that's just a new way that they use the sugar syrups. So try and avoid all these sugar syrups in your coffee too, and just have pure coffee. All right, team, hope that helps. Any questions around sugar addiction, or you go to do it and you're not sure the approach, or you go, what was it Julie said? Then my DMs are open. Give me a shout, and I shall catch you guys tomorrow night. Have a good evening.